All right, ladies and gentlemen, traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you guys are tuning in, hit that thumbs up, and if you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel. So, as you guys can see here from my trader view stats, roller coaster of a day, man. I think this might have been my biggest red start to the day, if I'm not mistaken. Let's say after going green, right, coming red, being down, I think 2K. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure. I think there was a day we were down 3,500 before coming back green. But anyhows, as you guys can see, in the first couple minutes of the open, first couple seconds really, in the first like minute, we're up 1K. We start the day off very well, and things just go south rather quickly. Sometimes the fine line gets you. I'm up 1K. There's a beautiful trade coming a milliseconds late to it. Instead of making 50 plus cents with 2,500 shares, I'm in high with a really bad fill. I'm a little slow to the trade and I lose 50 cents. I essentially, instead of pushing myself up nicely up 2K starting the day, I'm back to flat. And that's the risk, right? When we're using huge size, whether it's a high fill or you're a little slow, there's a lot of risk, right? Even with just perfect trading, there's still a lot of risk because the risk is always on the other side of the trades, right? We know this. So it's a little disappointing to see that we couldn't stay green and go higher. So we ended up losing and losing a ton. And, thankfully to NEXI coming back green. And then there we still had some issues and then finally pushed up. And towards the end of the day, we had some good stocks, but we just weren't able to connect. And we said, hey, you know what? That will do it. So let's pull up Thinkorswim here and let's take a look at the log. So remember, guys, before we really get into it, right? These are the stocks we traded. Remember, guys, that trading is risky business. All right, trading has a lot of risk. A lot of people are having a hard time. So if you're new, you know, use small size, use the simulators, you know, become consistent, and then put risk out there. Other than that, remember the recaps and live streams are never an invitation to copy trade. And lastly, I do not invest for my subscribers. In fact, none of the members of the team house invest for our subscribers. So be careful with fake accounts and impersonators, people pretending to be us reaching out, right? We will never message you randomly for no reason. So keep that in mind. We will never ask for money or personal information. We will never start up random conversations. So stay safe, be careful in the community. Now, let's talk about this green day. It's 820 bucks. I'll definitely take it, but it's not the day that it could have been. And we'll talk a little bit about the chat room and how great the chat room did as a whole today. I really want to highlight some of the guys over there that did tremendously well today. Now, for me, having a rough day, I'm very grateful to be green, and I'll take my $800 every time I can get it because, ultimately, I do remember working at Amazon and having to work an entire week, 10-hour shifts, 6 days a week to make about 900, bucks. So I'll take this. I'll smile and I feel very good. And I feel, anytime you have a big red day and you come back green, there's always a lot of good things to take away. But let's go back to the beginning. Things that I did well. First, RVSN continuation. One of the first things I did this morning in chat was to say, hey, this thing, is moving up and is looking well. And I had it as my main watch list stock, despite it being continuation, right? I thought it looked good. And so right into the open, I started trading this thing. And you know what? I'll show you guys the first couple of trades that I had before. I'll show you guys the first couple of winning trades and the red trade that I had when I lost all of it back. So let's skip ahead here. So let's skip ahead. So we're coming into the open, and I want to see the break of 1920, but I'm going to take some early trades in anticipation of the move. So I'm watching this thing, we're holding up. We're holding. Let's in fact, let's go back to the very beginning. So we had a low of 18 and a high of 40. The moment it dips down into the VWAP area, I tried to take a trade down here with a tight stop to see if we get that immediate bounce. And you can see right there I sold. I was expecting the volume to hit the tape instantaneously. But I sold, and now here's some green hitting the tape. So my timing there was a little off, and immediately I'm like, oh no, not good. But we didn't surge completely. Right here, we pulled back to 40, which was just the high point that we had. So I'm watching like, okay, can we hold up this 40 area? And then can we get back to 70, 80, 90? So I'm going to watch. There's 67, there's 73, right? I'm going to take something off. And if we can get back over 75, I want to be in for the push through. So immediately before the real volume starts to hit there, I'm in quickly. There's a small seller at 95, 5,000. We rip right through. But notice the spread here, right? There's a huge spread. It's going to get a little tighter, but there's still a pretty big spread of 50 cents. So we got to fill in between the spread somewhere, and we're able to lock in some gains. I get back in now because I want to see the push over 1920. I'm like, okay, can we see the push over 1920? There's 18. It didn't quite go, so I'm going to take it. I wanted this to continuously push straight through 50, 60, 70. If not, I'm going to take it, watch to get back in. So right here, I'm watching. There's 56, 40. There's 40. I'm going to buy in the spreads here, and I'm going to watch for bounce again. I think at this point, I'm going to open up the other order entry window over here so that I can have more share size. And hold up. I'm going to skip ahead a little too quickly there. So I'm in at 75. Again, I'm still watching and trying to anticipate the break of 1920, right? We had the previous high of day in pre-market right there. We just tapped the level. Now I'm looking for a breakthrough level. There's 1915. Look at my entry right here, man. I'm in at 75, and this thing is at 1915. In this kind of area, in my mind, I'm like, yes. Are we gonna keep ripping 50, 67? We know how these expensive stocks can move and just teleport up. And right here, I'm just hoping, let's see that sweet move. And it stalls out again. The ass should never really be dropping in these areas. We should just be up and up and up. So I'm back out, and I'm gonna size up right here. I'm like, okay, if we can get this push and we can hold above this level of 1920, I expect we will fly. So we get the breakthrough 20, and this is my first mistake actually. Let's come back. I think this was, if I remember correctly, this was actually a late order. So I'm gonna change my share size in there. And watch this. I'm going to change it. There's the change in share size. And immediately, so it's like, man, this is so frustrating to watch it back. Not utilizing the DAS hotkeys in these areas is a bit problematic in a situation like this, right? This is why a guy like Marcelo or Tim might prefer DAS sometimes, because at this point, I don't have the other order entry window open. So I didn't have to take a second to increase my size. And I could do it faster if I expand the screen. I have the default order block set up. But the way how my screen real estate is right now, just this first 1K is available, right? I'm working with what I have here. And so instead of being in it at 20 or 30, I'm in at 40. And not only am I in at 40, it's not going to continue because I'm expecting this to 60, 70, 80, 90, 20 and over, and it literally stalls out right there and drops 50 cents. So, I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a little slow to it. Plus, it doesn't quite rip. So this was a false breakout. And then we ended up having more losses, right? It went up. Let's see here. So it did a bit of a false breakout, and this is where sometimes you can let your guard down, and the stock comes right back up, right? So I did try entries here at 70. There's 89. It's not quite the separation I would like to see on the upside, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to get back in 83 for break of 20. Can we see the push? There's 90, but stalling out at 90. And that spread is about 20 cents. I'm going to try again, and I'm in at 99. The bid is at 92, which is not bad. It stalls out again. Look at the bid now, it's 76. And it's like, are you kidding? So this is how quickly I just gave back profits. And then it goes. And then it goes and gives the move to 25. And then 39. And so, the frustration in here, man, for me, as this thing moved up, I was kind of smiling like, like, are you kidding me, man? But fair trades, fair trades, fair play. But ultimately, I think what got me was this thing pushing up in smaller increments and then the spreads opening up and me giving back a lot of gains just versus the spreads. Got caught in a few flushes, right? Got caught in a few flushes. And I will say, I did a very poor job right here. Poor job not capitalizing these dips at VWAP. If I'd done a better job here, I could have gotten myself back to green very early on this stock. I think this particular area we might have caught a little bit of, but then big red candle right back down. So you guys see how I'm managing the risk, right? I'm in for the breakouts. If it's not instant and continuing immediately, a back out. Quick scalp trades, right? That's what the hyper scalping style is all about. And so that was RVSN. Beautiful move. I mean, beautiful move. So we went from 18 to 21. Nice pullback to 1950. All the way to 23. If we include the pullback and then the continued move, what's that? $3 a share plus, back to the high here of 21. That's another $5 a share, then another $3. This thing moved $8 a share just in this area here if we include the pullback as a reset. I mean, even from 18 to 23, it's pretty impressive, right? $5 a share end to end. But very difficult. And right here, not good. Huge sell off. And we hate to see this because, we're essentially getting an uptrend and we're getting tighter into this wedge. And so, hey, can we see a breakout? And it does break out. High of days at 23.37 right here. We would love to see nothing more than a nice big green candle continuing all the way up here to 25. Instead, for whatever reason, it just wasn't the right day. I mean, the way how this looks, if we were to come right back before that red candle, can we get the tick? The way how this looks, I would have expected, the move. I would have expected the move up, right? I would have thought this would have just kept going. But this is why we have to cut our losses and have a tight risk, because this one red candle here can wipe out like your entire good day, especially if you're using size. If I'm using 2,500 shares like I just was earlier, and I'm in at the high of this candle, and I'm out at the low, let's pull up the calculator and do the math, right? We talk about what the risk could be to the extremes. Let's say I get stunned, I'm not as quick to sell, whatever the issue might have been. 23.26, right? 23.26 less minus, right? Minus 20.06. Difference is $3.20. Now times 2,500, which is the amount of size I would have been using. Let's say if I'm very aggressive in an area like this, $8,000. I could lose 8,000. I could lose 8,000 in this one area right here alone. That is the risk of day trading. And it's why if you're not consistently making money, the right thing to do is use a small amount of size. Why, if you're not making money consistently, why would you be using 2,500 shares on this thing when you know this is a possibility? We have to make sure there's no ego, there's no pride. We have to be disciplined to the process. What you could do instead is say, hey, 25 shares. Okay, 25 shares times 3.2, you could lose 80 bucks. 80 bucks, okay, if you're using small size and you're trying, you're learning, you're going through the process, maybe you're used to having a good green day be 50 bucks, a bad red day 20 bucks, or whatever it might be. Okay, if you lose 80 bucks in one trade, that does suck. But at the end of the day, 80 bucks and 8,000 is two different things. And we all understand that very clearly. So when you're consistently making money, that's when it makes sense to, hey, increase the risk because you're already doing it. And if you stay focused, you stay composed, you're gonna keep doing it. Even if I have an $8,000 loss right here, it's like it's a good sized loss, but at the end of the day, it's like nothing, right? Because over the next few days, or maybe over the next day, or the same day, we can make it back because we've been consistently doing that. You have to prove with this small size that you can do it before you do it with the big size. That's the smart way to do things. So NEXI saved the day here for me, and I would have done much better if I could have used more size sooner. This thing, I all even with the small size, I didn't get to fully capitalize because my timing was off a little bit. But this thing was a monster of a stock. I mean, ripping up dollars a share, man, ripping up dollars a share. NEXI, absolutely incredible, just crazy move. The halt resumption, it dips, it rips. We get a beautiful consolidation here, and it holds up the lows. I did much better on the lows on this stock. We had a low here, first low point, and then second low point. Even here, we can consider a test. And then from here, we get higher lows, and we get tighter into this wedge. Can we see the breakout? Breakout is going to happen, and it goes from 19 to 28, $10 a share, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely insane stuff. NEXI, just very impressive move. I didn't size up past 1K size, I don't think. I think my max share size was 1,000, maybe 1,500. But if we were green like 3K on the other stock, 4K, we would have been way more aggressive. We started off with just 500 shares because we're down 2K when we pulled this thing up. It's like, man, we just can't risk too much early because if we lose big on this halt, which is a possibility, we can be down 3, 4, 5K on the day. So I had to start small, build a cushion. But once it did break out initially down here, I was being aggressive and did not get to connect. So the very beginning of this push, like between here and here, I didn't get to do super well. But as we pushed up some more, I think there's another halt resumption, we were able to do a little bit better. But NEXI, man, crazy, crazy stuff. Just impressive. And we lost on a resumption trade. And so at this point, we're up 2K. From red 2K to up 2K. And then NVVE, man. NVVE took all the right trades, it didn't get the follow through I would have wanted. It resumes. We do get the dip and rip, but it was choppy, man. It's usually one trade in and out. I took like 5 trades down here trying to get it. Green like 120, 200, something like that. Then flat, then red. And then I finally get the trade. And then I give back a little bit in the move up. It halts up again. It resumes. It dips. I buy the dip down here. Watching for the rip back up. Instead, flushes down. So, and here's another thing, right? Here's another thing. On this move up, I was long. I did hesitate a little bit. It was between 530 and 540. I hesitated ever so slightly to buy, and I ended up buying it all the way at 560. Now, despite getting in 20 cents higher, we ripped into the halt level at 597. But the bids was all the way down at 530. I tried selling thinking that the bid price would catch up to the halt level and we would get pinned. The bid stayed at 530, so I ended up being in at like 60, out at 30. Usually that's a trade I'm selling into the halt level going up. So I lost 500 there, lost another 350, 400 buying this dip and getting caught in this flush. But I think if I didn't hesitate, I would have been in there at like 35. And even if the bids did not come up, I could have sold flat, or worst case scenario, hold and wait for the bids to come up because my entry was so good, or would have been so good. But yeah, guys, that was a day, man. I mean, it was a great day it was a great day of momentum. I did mention earlier in the video that I want to show off the chat room just a little bit. Uh, let's show off the chat room here. I want to congratulate some of the guys in the team house for having a crazy, crazy day. So shout out to Dynamo, up $5,000 today in one day. Shout out to Crispy Trades, one of the moderators here in the community, and one of the team house member, up 28,500 on a new record day and record month, making over 100,000. This is why we trade right here. This is why we trade. Crispy Trades, 28K. Talk to us nicely. BMAC, one of the students, up over 2,000 trading stock. MARK, I believe a little bit of a cheaper stock from 80 cents or so, all the way up to 170, 160. Yeah, from 40 cents all the way to 167. MARK. Way to go for BMAC. Way to go. 2K in one day. Cactus Rob, another one of the students, up $954 today. We gotta flex. Hey, we gotta flex it, man. We gotta flex all this achievement. We're very proud of the community. We're very proud of the students. Save adding another 2K. And again, keep in mind, some people are still using small size. Some people are still using the simulator, right? But we're transparent. We're showing our green. We're showing our red. And, it's all about you versus you. We use the other traders like BMAC and Save and Crispy, all the other guys, as inspiration and encouragement, never as FOMO, right? So Handy Girl, staying in her own zone and keeping with her small size, not because Save is up 20K today and adding another 2K, she's gonna just increase size just because. No, you're sticking to you're sticking to where you are in the spectrum of your learning curve. Save, 22K. I mean, just absolutely crazy. Jay, $14 in the day. Way to go. Danny P, 825. Way to go. Trap Trader, how did we do? 2,700 on Nexi. Small losses on some other ones. Way to go. So about a 2.5K a day. Just impressive stuff, man. I mean, you guys see it. This is the Relentless Trading chat room, man. We're active. We get it done. I mean, man. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name, but 2,900. Way to go. Way to go. Doug, 1,400. Man. Amit, another one of the students with the small size, getting it done. I got to check in with Spartan, see how he did today. I mean, but crazy. Tim, one of the other mentors and moderators in the community, $13,000 in one day. Jessica, one of the students, $1,400, and she traded AMD today. Guys, it can be done. It can be done. Danny, tough day from minus 3,500 to plus 1K to minus 1. Sounds like a little bit like how my day went here, this roller coaster. And this is at 12 o'clock, so he probably ended green, right? Probably ended green. Covert in the sim, 3,300. Practicing, getting it done. Guys, talk to us nicely, man. Mark, 183. Talk to us nicely. Talk to us nicely. The students getting it done. So proud of the community. Marcelo, The other mentor here, $10,000 in one day trading stocks. This is the reality of some of the people here in the chat room, right? So the important thing is to start, be consistent, take it slow. Beam, another one of the students, $6,000, and this is a live account. 6,000 for Beam. I wish Lucas was still around, man. Lucas, if you're watching on, we hope to see you back soon. Lucas was also another big time student, but has stepped away from trading for now to focus up on finishing school and his degree. Ken W, another student, up $200. Kitty, trading in the sim, trading on a sim account today, 28K. I mean, that's some serious gains, man. Some small red here, well, small green and then small red. Man, I'm very proud of the community. Guys, keep it up. We're gonna end it off here. If you guys are interested in joining the Discord, right? If you're interested in joining the Discord, if you don't care about being a course member or learning in that kind of way, but you want to join the Discord, you guys can check out the server shop right up here. You guys will see we have over 6,000 members now, right? The server shop brings up the two options. The most popular option has been the elite member, which gives you unlimited access, right? Excluding, of course, the MMU content, but gives you full access to post your screenshots, post your charts, you know, involve you'll you'll be able to text, you'll be able to be included and involved in the audio channels, right, and speak to other traders as if you're on a phone call. You'll be able to participate in our virtual meetups. The participant is a limited role. If you don't care about all the texting and stuff, but you just want to see the call outs, you want to see how the chat room is functioning and how people are engaging, feel free to check it out. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to include a free trial pretty soon for the elite member role. I think maybe 1 day or 2 day free trial, maybe 1 day free trial. So you guys can come in for 1 day and at least get to see what the chat room is like, for those of you who are thinking about it. Let me know down below if you're interested in that. And other than the Discord here, we're gonna shut it down, right? Stay safe, stay green. It's been Relentless Trader. It's been a long recap, but I am, of course, signing out tomorrow, bright and early, once again.